The Seoul capital area is the metropolitan area of Seoul, Incheon, and Gyeonggi Province, located in northwest South Korea. Its population of 25 million ranked as the fifth largest metropolitan area in the world. Its area is about 11,704 square kilometers. It forms the cultural, commercial, financial, industrial, and residential center of South Korea. The largest city is Seoul, with a population of approximately 10 million people, followed by Incheon, with 3 million inhabitants. The capital area occupies a plain in the Ha River Valley. It contains some of the most fertile land on the Korean peninsula, although relatively little of it is now used for agriculture. The Gimpo International Airport, one of the country's larger expanses of level arable land, covers much of the area of the cities of Gimpo and Busan. The capital area has been home to a Korean capital for around 2000 years. Its central location and relatively gentle landscape have given it a central role in the country's affairs. The first capital to be constructed in the region was that of Baekje, one of the three kingdoms of Korea. The country's first capital was built in 19 BC and was named Gyeonggi. This is believed to have been constructed near the modern-day boundary of Seoul and Gwangju city. However, Baekje was unable to hold this territory, and surrendered the Ha River Valley to Goguryeo in the 5th century. The land was then taken over by Silla in the 6th century, at which point it came to play a critical role in helping Silla to establish ties with China. After the fall of Silla, Taejo of Goryeo established the capital of his kingdom in Kaesong, now just north of the demilitarized zone. During the Mongol invasions of Korea in the 12th century, the seat of government briefly shifted to Gangwa Island, now just south of the DMZ in Incheon metropolitan city, where the Mongol naval attacks were repelled for about a decade before the king voluntarily surrendered to stop the carnage the Mongols committed in the peninsula. In order to lure the king out, after the fall of Goryeo dynasty in 1392, the newly founded Joseon dynasty had its capital less than 100 kilometers south of the old dynasty's capital, Kaesong. Hanyang was chosen to be the new capital for mountains surrounding it, making it safe from enemies, and for the Ha River, separating the north and south parts of the city that let the trade business flourish. During the new dynasty's rule, extensive road systems, administrative buildings, royal palaces, and new ports were built, quickly attracting wealth from all over the kingdom. During the Korean Empire period, Hanseong's public transportation was improved with the installation of streetcars and manually drawn trolleys similar to taxis. Horse carriage systems similar to the ones in Europe were also established. Following the Japanese annexation of Korea in 1910, Hanseong was renamed Kijo and served as colonial Korea's capital. Upon Korea's liberation from Japan in 1945, the former colonial capital was renamed Seoul and became capital of South Korea. In the Korean War, the capital area became the focus of battles so destructive that most of Seoul and the surrounding regions were eradicated. Seoul was especially hit hard, since it exchanged hands 4 times during the course of the war. During the latter half of the 20th century, the capital area began to rapidly develop as South Korea's economic wealth expanded. Population expanded fourfold since the Korean War. In 2001, the new Incheon International Airport took over all international flights to Seoul, covering only about 12% of the country's area. The Seoul capital area is home to more than 48.2% of the national population, and is the world's 5th largest urban area. This percentage has risen steadily since the mid-20th century, and the trend is expected to continue. Currently, more than half of the people who move from one region to another are moving to the capital area. By 2020, it is projected that more than 52% of South Korea's population will live within the area, or 26,310,000 people. However, the Seoul capital area reached 25,620,000 people by 2015, bringing the chance of reaching a population of 26.31 million in less than 5 years. In 2017, Seoul capital area's gross regional product was 870 trillion won, generating half of the country's total GDP. It is the fourth largest urban economy in the world after Tokyo, New York City and Los Angeles, and the region hosts headquarters of 59 Forbes Global 2000 companies. As the economy of Seoul capital area transformed to knowledge economy from the manufacturing-based economy of the 20th century, there are a number of high-tech business parks in Seoul capital area, such as Digital Media City and Pangyo Techno Valley. The South Korean government is now implementing a plan to create several centers for economic activities in the capital area. According to the plan, for example, Seoul is Northeast Asia's financial and business hub, and southwestern